All right, that's the My Radio Show hotline. Joining us is a man who pitched for the Los Angeles Dodgers from 1990 to 1994. He played for 5 major league teams over 14 seasons, 91 career saves. He's the current bullpen coach for the Philadelphia Phillies. Ladies and gentlemen, San Marino High School's own Jim Gott.
How's it going, Rick?
Everything's great, Jim. First of all, I want to say happy early birthday. I know your birthday's coming up in about a week or two. I think your birthday's about 5 days before mine, so happy birthday, my friend.
Well, happy birthday back to you, too. Mine is a major milestone. Oh, my God.
Oh, you want to tell us?
Thank God I work around such young people, and it reminds me that I'm still young, but wow.
You
I'm
are.
60. I can't believe it.
Oh, my
Wow.
gosh. You shouldn't have told me that.
Wow.
I feel differently about you now.
Hey, so funny. We get into here, all of my bullpen guys are ragging me. They said, Goddard, did you play? Was Roberto Clemente just coming up when you played here? And then I was telling them about the Wayner brothers, and we have a lot of fun. We have a really great group of kids down in the bullpen.
So you guys just finished a series earlier this week with the Dodgers, and Jim, things got a little bit chippy there. I mean, some batters were hit after home runs. A pitcher was yelling at guys in the dugout. I don't want to say the hit batsmen were on purpose. On purpose. I'm sorry, I got a little thing in my throat there. There was some chippiness going on there. You had some. Let me put it to you this way: some guys that had some moods there on the mound with this trip.
And as you know, because we traveled together for a few years when we were with the Dodgers, this is a very emotional game.
Yeah.
And guys go through ups and downs, and it's a very emotional game. I can't say it any other way than that. You see that with celebrations on the field in joy, and you see it in frustration in all kinds of different ways.
Yes.
And I'm not going to speak for Hector, but I know that it's been an emotional month for him, the whole team. We've gone through a lot of ups and downs throughout this year. It's still halfway through the season, and it's been a very interesting year for us. We're still right in it, but very emotional game, and Hector's emotions got caught up in the game yesterday.
You are the bullpen coach. What are the duties of a bullpen coach, Jim?
Boy, there's a lot of duties. Probably more than anything else is just to be able to always have the pulse of the bullpen for Gabe Kapler, for my manager, to always let him know the little things that might be going on, whether it's one of our pitchers has a new baby that's a year old and she's been cutting teeth and he's not getting sleep, to a guy that's feeling a little bit of soreness because he's been used a lot, and everything in between. So I think from that standpoint, probably the most important thing that I can do is always let Gabe know who is available today, kind of plan out the rest of our week. We can kind of look and see how much somebody's been used over the last 2 or 3 days. There's tons of history and data and everything about not only how to pitch and how to game plan, but the one thing that doesn't tell us sometimes is just the emotional and mental well-being of each guy that goes out there. And we're asking them to go out into high-pressure, high-intensity situations, and we want to be able to have them as best prepared as possible. And then we also don't want to put anybody in a situation where they're not prepared, physically or mentally.
Jim Gott is on my radio show hotline. And, Jim, you're in Pittsburgh right now. You had 34 saves for Pittsburgh in 1988. That was a franchise record, but you missed most of 89 after elbow surgery. What percentage of major league pitchers would you say has at least one scar on their pitching arm?
Wow, nowadays it's over 60% probably. And it's interesting because when I was playing, it was just at that cusp where an injury like that was not a fatal blow to your career. I played with some older guys that when I had my first injury in 1987 when I was with the Giants, I was with some older guys that they were suggesting don't go in the training room. Don't follow this up because this can only lead to bad things, that your career could be over. And I ended up following the newer wave of things that they believe now that they could rehab people. Tommy John just made that he made people's careers longer just because of what he was able to do. Dr. Job and Tommy John and the Dodger organization did an incredible thing for pitchers' careers and what they were doing in the late 70s.
Jim, the Dodgers picked you up from 1990 to 1994, and that had to be a treat for a guy who grew up in San Marino.
It was really a blast. I think I've told you this before. My dad grew up in Kansas City, and he was an American League fan. And when my dad's business was doing good things and he was going to get season tickets. There was a debate in the family about whether we should get Dodger season tickets or Angel season tickets. And, of course, from everybody other than my dad, we were like, of course, why wouldn't we go to the Dodgers? The Dodgers are 15 minutes away. You hop on the 110 freeway, and boom, you're right there. Chavez Ravine, we're so close. And my dad was like, no way. We're American League fans. I do not like Tommy Lasorda, the Dodgers, Dodger Blue, nothing. So we had season tickets to the Angels. When the Dodgers were dominating in the 70s, we were down with the Angels when they were not dominating in the 70s, and got a chance to watch a lot of baseball, got some foul balls because nobody was at the ballpark. But it was great. We loved baseball in our family, and our family still does, and I'm so grateful that I'm able to pass that on as my dad did that to us. It's a one thing that we can always talk about and have a spirited discussion about our favorite players or favorite teams.
It is public knowledge that you are one of the nicest people in baseball, but life has not always been a bed of roses for Jim Gott. Autism has been a huge part of your family's life. Can you tell us about that, Jim?
It has, and I just look at it, and I believe in a higher power, and I know that I've gotten some challenges in my life that are going to make me a better person, and I did not expect this. My first son from each of my marriages, I've been married twice, have autism. CJ is 31 years old now. I'm so excited to get to see him. It's been a few months since I've seen him. He lives here in Pittsburgh with his mom. And I just remember those early days, right when you and I knew each other. I had just married Kathy, and CJ had not been diagnosed yet. He moved in with Kathy and I. We had much better opportunities for him to be diagnosed out in the West Coast, as opposed to where his mom was living. And he got diagnosed with autism. And it's such an interesting dynamic because you go through a grieving stage. Especially me, I had this illusion that CJ was going to be in the big leagues, like Andy Van Slyke's kid made it to the big leagues, and Ken Griffey Jr. made it to the big leagues, all of these guys, and that was what we all think of our kids when they live around this game, that they're going to be great athletes. And it was very apparent really early that wasn't going to be CJ's life, and I fought it for a long time, and that wasn't good for my own health or the people around me. But once I realized to accept, and I've just been so blessed to have these two boys. Danny is my son with Kathy, first son with Kathy, and Danny's been diagnosed with autism. He's 25, and I've got a wonderful wife, Kathy, who has been at the forefront of autism awareness. She's started a couple businesses, and she's also on the county commission for the disabled in Los Angeles.
Can you tell us quickly about one of the resources in particular out here that you're involved with, Danny's Farm in Southern California?
So Danny's Farm came about, Danny, and also the experience we had with CJ. CJ lived with us for 6 years, and then he moved back with his mom and continued his education and job placement and all kinds of things out here in Pittsburgh. And Danny, just because Kathy had a little bit of a head start with CJ when Danny was diagnosed 4 years after CJ was, we had the right people in place. So we've been able to be very connected within the autism community. And part of that then was what was the school system and his school environment to look like. So Kathy proactively started Education Spectrum, which is a consulting firm in Altadena that not only does after-school tutoring, but teachers and clinicians go into the classrooms of our clients and help them have a successful school placement, school situation. And that's been really rewarding and wonderful. Met some wonderful families that way. And then the other was, as Danny was aging out of high school, Kathy started thinking, back when he was 12 years old, Danny's aging out of high school in 5 years. We've got to figure out what's next for him. Every time we started looking at different things that he liked, every time we ever went to the fair or out to different places where there was a petting farm or a petting zoo or a little area where the animals were, that's where Danny gravitated towards. So Kathy just started thinking about developing a nonprofit called Danny's Farm. It's out in the Sunland area right now, and it does two things. It's a place where not only special needs kids, but typical kids can come and enjoy a farm type of experience with donkeys and horses and pigs and goats and all the fun things that come with that. But the one thing that we love, because of Alec Baldwin, the actor's great donation, he bought Danny's Farm a truck and a trailer, and they're able to make it a mobile petting farm. So Danny and a group of the handlers are able to go out into the community, into places, inner schools, usually inner city schools, usually is where it's happening, where they're getting a chance to get a farm experience without having to go on a bus and, with expenses and budgets and things like that, where they wouldn't be able to do it.
Oh, that's great.
We've had a wonderful group of people that have supported Danny's farm. And the one thing that's so cool about this, Rick, more than anything, is that when I was getting buckled because this was happening, it opened up a whole world of the rest of the world that is so kind and so giving and so helpful. And I mean, we've just been able to see a different part of the world and been blessed because of it. People that are there to help, and
hopefully people
it's
listening.
a wonderful thing.
Hopefully people listening will also be helped. Jim, I know you got to get back to work. Real quickly, we're gonna, if you don't mind, let's play some true false. I'm gonna make a statement.
Yes.
I'm gonna make a statement about Jim Gott's life and career. All you have to do is answer true or false. You ready?
Okay,
Right. True
bring
or,
it.
True or false? You went to BYU on a football scholarship.
It's false, because I had signed a letter of intent to play football for Lavelle Edwards, outside linebacker, and I signed out of high school.
Okay, so all right. That's
So
sort of true.
I did not.
Sort
I
of
did
false.
not. I did go to school up there. My brother
Yeah.
went up on a golf scholarship, and so false. I did.
False.
I signed a letter of intent, but did not
Did
play
not
down
play.
a football there.
Got it.
Yes.
True or false? You once threw a no-hitter and hit a grand slam in the same game in high school.
Wow. That was the 70s. How can I remember anything that happened during the 70s?
Listen, I just made that. I made that up, so it's got to be false. All right, true or false? Your nickname during your playing career was the Mayor.
Yes, that's true.
It is
My
true.
daughter last night, who lives in Louisville, and we have a grandson, Janice had her Jim Gott for mayor
Yep.
shirt that that Kurt Gibson made for me on my birthday when I played for the Dodgers.
Yeah. All right, true or false? After a night of fun following a game in Cincinnati, you pulled up next to my rental car that had Kirk Gibson as a passenger and told us we were driving the wrong way on a one-way street.
Correct.
That is
yes,
true.
That is true. Yes.
I don't.
Was I driving or were you driving?
I was driving. Kirk was the passenger, and you came up upon us and said, "Hey, you're going the wrong way." All right. Here's one. True or false? You taught Dennis Quaid how to pitch for the 2002 movie The Rookie, about the life of pitcher Jim Morris.
I did, and that was very fun. Yes, that's true.
How cool is that?
That was really fun. Hey,
Jim-
it was really cool until he asked me. He was single at the time. He goes, "Hey, Goddard, as soon as we're done here, do you want to come with me? I go to this yoga class over in Brentwood." And I'm like, "No, I am not. I'm going home to my wife and family."
Jim Gott, so great to talk to you. It's so nice of you to come on. Jim Gott, a coach now for the Phillies, and they are in Pittsburgh. Good luck this weekend, buddy, and we'll catch up with you soon. Thanks so much for appearing on my radio show.
I can't wait. And you know what? I told Rick Honeycutt, and I'm going to tell you this. We're going to meet the Dodgers in the playoffs.
Oh, all right. That's a prediction. Let's see if it happens. That would be great.
Okay, brother.
All right.
Okay.
Thanks, Jim.
Wouldn't that be great? Thanks, Rick.
Mm-hmm.